You are listening to Parking Lot Perspectives with Darin and Evan.
And welcome back to Parking Lot Perspectives. We are on episode
25.
25, kind of a milestone.
We haven't gotten sick of each other
That's
yet,
hard to
Darin.
believe. Hard to believe. This episode...
We pushed through.
This episode is all about Final Destination Bloodlines. And some of you are probably wondering, why are you guys seeing Final Destination? Why? Evan, what's your question?
Is this the best Final Destination out?
Let's just stop for a sec, because the reason we saw this is Evan just got back from a trip he was on to lovely Hawaii with his wife Jana and the mother-in-law. And he's like, hey, Darin, Final Destination Bloodlines got like 92% Rotten Tomatoes. And I'm like, what?
I thought it was a typo.
Yeah, because, folks, if you look at all the other Final Destinations,
We'll put it up.
they're like 30%, 40%. It's horrible.
Yeah.
And I think each of us have seen at least one.
I saw the first couple.
Yeah.
Then it kind of got terrible.
Yeah, kind of got bad. This one, I think we are going to tell you right off the bat, recommend you probably go see it and see it in flippin' Dolby.
Yes, Dolby, we've talked about that. The sound behind us, it made it even better. The shock, the awe, the screaming, the blood, the gore, everything.
Everything was better.
Crazy deaths.
Yeah.
You'll be blown away even more, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note, too, we got a great family to give us feedback from the movie.
Yeah.
Awesome. We had
Awesome.
Gio, Angel, Yaz, and Charles. They were the bombs.
Thank you.
We'll throw that up in the middle of the episode. But, let's just talk about the plot real quick. Because the plot it starts back in like late 1960s. By the way, great music. Music and score.
But it doesn't. Before you jump into the plot, there's no opening credit. It just jumps right into it.
Yeah, really good point. There's no title, no nothing. It just goes. And I turned to Evan. I'm like, did I miss the opening credits? And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, yeah.
But I liked it.
So
straight to the point.
So the plot it starts off that time period, and it's without trying to give away too many spoilers. This plot is really about these people go up to this restaurant in the sky kind of thing. It's like the Space Needle in Seattle. It's very similar to that. And this couple and all these people are there, and you can probably guess what might happen.
Yeah, I mean, deaths isn't a spoiler with this movie.
Death is not a spoiler. That should be a tagline.
The spoiler.
So Evan's
that's going after all of them and trying.
Yeah, it's going after all of them, and then again, not trying to give it away, but something happens at the restaurant, and then it goes to modern day.
Yeah, I guess the best way to put it is it follows an event that took place all those years ago, and now death is coming back.
Right.
And that's the whole point of this movie, to come after the bloodlines, right?
Yeah.
So these people grew up, had families, kids. That's it.
Great call. So that is the summation of the plot. And that's not a spoiler, because it's really pretty well known that everyone that's in the restaurant that lived, they should have died.
Correct.
And that's the bloodlines. So that's what death is, and you don't mess with death. That's the bitch. So with that, I will tell you, it's an hour and 50.
I liked.
Yeah.
I didn't have there were cheesy parts. I mean, it's one of those movies, but I wasn't bored at any time.
No, I agree with that. I agree. I will say it had a $40 million budget. I thought it felt better than that. Again, let's just reference back to Red One and The Rock, and $250 million on Amazon. This movie, $40 million.
Awesome.
Yeah, this was
the
very
gore,
well.
The sound. We'll get to it.
We'll get to it. So, first of all, the director, Zach Lipovetsky.
Perfect.
Lipovetsky. And also, it's Adam Stein. They've done a lot of stuff on TV. They did like Kim Impossible, some other things. They've won some Emmys.
Kim
Possible. Sorry.
She's not impossible.
She's not impossible. So the directors, that's who those are. Then you got some faces. I don't think there's only one person we knew from the whole movie, and that was Tony Todd. God rest his soul. We'll talk about him in a second. But we're just going through. I'll go through the cast. So Caitlin Santa Juana, she's kind of the main character. Stephanie.
Yeah.
She is in college, and she's having this nightmare. I'm gonna leave it at that, because that would be a spoiler. So she's having a nightmare. Her brother is played by Theo Briones. He plays Charlie. Did a really nice job. Their mom, Raya Kilsdet, I think is her name. What's funny is Evan and I kept looking at her in the movie, and we got out and I IMDb'd it. This woman has been Kate Laswell in the last 2 Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
And we're going to put that up.
We are going to put
for the gamers out there.
Yeah.
Now it makes me want to rewatch some of those scenes.
Yeah.
But she was also in a couple other things, but we'll touch on that later. Yep. She's good.
So then we had Richard Harmon, who played like their cousin Eric. Might as well call him Chris, our friend Chris. We won't give his last name, but we golf with Chris every week. He's one of the guys in the neighborhood. We love
Eric's
him.
great, Chris. Eric was great.
Eric and Chris
would get along just fine.
Oh my God, their mannerisms, everything was identical, so that was hilarious. And then you had Owen Patrick Joyner. This is the guy who's got a peanut allergy in the movie and in real life.
Oh.
And in real life.
But we'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. Anna Lore plays Julia. She's the sister of those 2 guys. Alex Zahara plays the uncle, who you probably see in the previews. April Tellick plays Aunt Brenda. Tinpo Lee plays Marty, who is Stephanie's dad. And then I want to talk about Tony Todd. So this was Tony Todd's last movie. Some of you might remember Tony Todd. I think, Evan, you said he's been in the others.
He has. Been, I think he's been in every single one, if I'm not mistaken. I will check that as you talk about.
So most people know Tony Todd from Candyman. I actually never saw Candyman, but I did see The Rock, the Man from Earth. He was in The Crow. He has done a ton of things.
Yeah.
And I read an article this morning trying to figure out the movie and how we're going to go talk about it. And the director, Zach and Adam Stein, were talking about his final scene. They let Tony Todd talk from the heart. It was not scripted because he knew he was dying. He looks very thin. He died, I think, November 24th or somewhere around there last year. But his last words, you could tell it was from his heart.
It was from his heart and a farewell.
Yeah, farewell. Yeah. So, God bless him, Tony Todd. I thought his voice was always just so great to listen to.
And that's how I vaguely remember him. Because he was not in all of them, but he was in the first, second, fifth.
Oh, wow.
Definitely in the first one, he played that creepy autopsy doctor, right? That voice he has, but... You will be missed, sir.
Yeah,
it was great watching you in your last. This was his last movie, right?
Last movie, yeah, he died, and the directors knew it was his last. So
yeah, that was nice that they did that.
Yep. The composer, Tim Wynn. Again, Evan and I have talked about it so many times in our episodes that the same group of people work together all the time. Yep. So Zach, Adam, Tim, they've done Mech 4, different things together. I will tell you from my standpoint, could be one of the best scores I've ever heard in a horror movie. I don't know. Is this a horror movie?
I guess so. IMDb has it at...
They have it as supernatural horror. Splatter horror.
It says horror.
Okay. So but the soundtrack...
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I do agree with you. We talk about it. There's movies that don't have soundtrack, but this one really hit home with some of those old 60s shows.
Yeah, they had some
or
old,
70s.
Old 60s and 70s music in it. I thought it was really, really good, but the score was fantastic. Again, shout out to AMC Northlake, because the Dolby Theater just makes you get into it. And like Evan said, as soon as we got in the truck, he's like, man, that first opening scene, it just drew you in. And it's because it was shot well.
Cinematography was good.
Cinematography was very, very good.
Obviously, a lot of CGI.
But the sound.
The sound.
Whew.
Horror movies have jumps, loud noises. You don't really get that when you're in Dolby. It's like they're right behind you.
Yeah. Scared of a Jesus out of me. So
you jumped a few times.
I did jump a few times. I do not have a strong belly for this stuff.
I was proud of you for making this movie.
It was very, very good. So really, that's I think the special effects. We'll talk about that. We'll get into our rating system. We are going to change our rating system. This is probably the last episode since it's 25. We're going to move on to more of an IMDb rating. So 1 through 10. That will allow us and you as the viewers to tell us what you think, if you agree with it, because we go up and down, right? There's many times we're like, oh, it's a meh. It's in between a meh and
between a 1 to 10.
Yeah.
Is it a 5?
Yeah. So this will be the last episode with it. Don't forget, by the way, to click like, subscribe, or follow. And by the way, if you are watching this on YouTube, don't forget, you can click on our link that Evan will
Yes,
put
I'll put a insert link tree. We actually have a 30-day free Hulu trial, which we talk about different shows and movies as well. Right. And tons of content on Hulu. So if you don't have it, we'll put it up on the link. Check it out. It's free for 30 days, and you can cancel at any time.
And our next ventures, we're going to try and get into iHeartRadio. That seems to be the home of the big podcasts. We're not big yet. Hopefully we will one day, but we're enjoying it right now.
111.
111 right now.
Episode 25.
Shout out to Maddie from yesterday at Trivia. She,
Maddie,
our buddy Joe
niece.
and Kate's niece, Maddie, plays a little volleyball at UNC.
Yeah.
So she was our 111th subscriber.
Thank you.
So real quick, we're going to talk to the family. Again, it was Gio, Angel, Yaz, and Charles. Let's listen to them, get you some feedback. Evan's going to do some editing because they had a little bit of spoilers in there.
Hey, guys, no spoilers.
Yeah.
All right, so
but let's take a listen to them and we'll come right back. Okay, who do we got? Gio?
Angel.
Yes.
Charles.
Hey, welcome back to Parking Lot Perspectives. We're here with the family that just saw Final Destination Bloodlines. We're going to ask you just 3 simple questions because I think I know where we're going, but I got to ask. So first of all, without giving away any spoilers, what did you love about the movie?
The action. The death. You know, it was the suspense.
Did you just say the death?
Yeah, it's suspense. Like, you know, you never know what's going to happen. And it's like, it's a weird type of way of dying. Like, you don't expect, like, you know, you get people to die of cancer, regular stuff, natural causes.
I think that's a really good point.
You know, but this was like, you know, sharpshooters.
Yeah, didn't see that one coming. Second question, if you could do anything different about the movie, what would you do different?
I would make it like because scary movies usually have happy endings, and that was not what happened with this one.
Yeah, I would have gave it like more of a happy ending. Yeah, because I don't think it's gonna be any more Final Destination. Kind of made it happy to the ending because that right there, the ending kind of made us feel like it's more to it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and like when my mom started laughing at the end, I started saying, "Mom, that's not funny." Like
your mother laughed at the end?
Yes, my mom started laughing at the end, and
Wow.
I was like, "Mom, that's not funny."
Okay.
And, like I'm very sensitive.
Okay, so third question is, if you would have if there was going to be another movie, what would you like to see in the Final Destination
I would
franchise?
like to see.
I probably would have.
More killing, but a happy ending.
Yeah.
Pretty simple. Go ahead.
I would like the people that actually tried to stay alive next time.
Yeah.
Good call. Good call. Okay, so we have a rating system on Parking Lot Perspectives. Sizzle is the movie's hot, right? Meh, it's okay, and Fizzle, it's a dud. What would you guys rate it?
It was
Sizzle?
Sizzle. It was lit.
Sizzle?
Yeah.
It was lit?
It's lit.
Same thing.
Yeah, you seem like a meh.
Nah.
Nah? All right, you're going with Sizzle. All right, well, hey, thank you so much for being on Parking Lot Perspectives, and check us out, and we'll talk to y'all later.
Gang.
And we're back.
And we're back. So I will tell you, Evans, so we had the original family, and then afterwards the mom says they wanted to enact one of the death scenes.
Yeah.
These are kids. And when Evan and I were walking out of the theater, we're like, wow, I can't believe there's kids in here.
Yeah.
These kids turned out to be the bomb.
And we're like, why don't we interview them?
Yeah, we're like, why don't we interview? And the mom's holding 2 Cokes. She's like, I'm not talking, but you guys. So thank you so much
Great personalities.
to the mom. Yeah, to Gio,
Thank you so much.
Angel, Yaz, and Charles. You guys spending some time
Made
with
some
us.
great points too.
Yaz was on point with her, and I like that everybody got to speak. So
Yes.
I think they did a really nice job. But their reenactment of one of the death scenes, highlight of our new year.
Highlight reel.
Wow.
Parking
Okay.
Lot Perspective style.
So last time we're going to use the Sizzle Math Fizzle rating scale. Let's talk about the directors.
I'm gonna give them a meh. Reason being, I looked at their roster. I know you hate when I do that. This is solely on this movie, but I don't know who these guys are, and they're doing Disney movies. None of them did anything better than a 7. This is one of the first. I think there was one other TV series that they had over 7. Just not the best. But for Final Destination, I think this was top notch, top of all the other Final Destinations.
Agreed. And this is why we're going to go to the new IMDb kind of rating scale, because to me it's in between a meh and a sizzle. To me, this would be a 7.5 to 8. This would not be a meh or a sizzle.
I'd be around a 7.
So that's why we're going to change that. The cast. What do you think about the cast?
For people I have never seen before,
Right. Oh,
I was
wow, really
pleasantly
good going.
surprised. I'm leaning meh to sizzle on the cast. I enjoyed it. There's cheesy moments. I think I'm upping it because of Tony Todd and Raya being from Modern Warfare. You got to support
she
the
was
Call
good.
of Duty family.
Yeah.
But the gentleman who plays Eric, Richard Harmon, who you mentioned, he's in The 100, the show The 100 that's been out. He was in 90 episodes of that.
Oh, wow.
The 100 was a very popular TV show. Ran 6 years. So he must have played a main character. I didn't watch it, but I know there's others out there, and I think it's on Netflix, streaming all the seasons. So.
Never heard it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the score.
I give it a sizzle, Darin. I mean, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It was good, and Dolby helped.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't Dolby, I still think they nailed it. Every death scene, no spoiler. There's deaths in this movie. They hit
a lot of deaths.
They hit the nail on the head. No, but wow, it was good.
Yeah, I am not going to disagree. I think on Evan's point that the Dolby just brought it to life. It was a sizzle. This score for a horror movie at $40 million, it played very, very well. I think that also the few songs that were the soundtrack, I think were very, very good as well.
Soundtrack was good.
Yeah.
I love those type of songs with these type of movies.
Yep.
But even the family we interviewed, they said the loudness behind them made them laugh or have a raw reaction even more so than they would have.
So let's talk about cinematography.
I enjoyed it. I think meh to sizzle.
This, again, is why we're going to IMDb.
7.
I'd probably give it a little higher than 7. I'd probably go 8, 8.5. I thought it was very well shot. I even think the CGI was okay, even in the opening scene at the Skyline Tower and all that.
I think that was kind of the most CGI you're going to get. So
the one thing we're going to rate is special effects. Because, folks, the death scenes in this... what was the movie that we did, like our 3rd or 4th episode?
Speak No Evil?
No, the other one. The horror one.
Oh, Smile 2.
Smile 2. So Smile 2, we thought it had some incredible special effects.
It was the sound, too, combined.
Combined.
And that's what we're going to talk about here.
These special effects in these deaths, I'm not going to lie. There's time like, oh, God. I mean, it was good. So what do you think of the special effects?
Sizzle. There wasn't one that was like, what was that? Everything nailed. It was great.
Yeah.
I wanted more.
Yeah, it is funny because we're like...
They're running out of characters. I want more deaths.
We're like, that's done. Next. But yeah, I agree. I think that was a standout for me. But again, to Evan's point, I think it's really important to elaborate on it, is not just the special effects, but that in conjunction with the sound.
Yeah.
I mean, I jumped. I think 3 or 4 times I jumped in this movie. It got me good, and I typically don't jump. He's the jumper.
It's the sound.
The sound just beat the hell out of me.
I'm a jumper, huh?
Yeah, you're a jumper. You are. So, overall,
I'm going to give this a 7.5. Meh to sizzle.
I agree. Folks, it is definitely worth going to see this in Dolby on a big screen. If you're going to go to a small theater that's kind of just on the side, I don't know if you're still going to get the great effects. It is a good, fun movie to watch. Fun, I say, I think it was Charles said, I wanted more killing.
He did. It's hysterical.
But it is definitely worth going. We are recommending you go to the theater to see it, but try and see it in Dolby. It makes a huge difference.
Yeah, and just for those like us, maybe if you saw the first 2 and you gave up, you don't need to.
Great call. You do not need to know or see the other Final Destinations, because
they pay home. They touch on it a little.
Yeah, there's a little bit of homage to it in different scenes, but
that's it.
So, and we should have said this at the beginning of the broadcast. Is we had the series started 25 years ago. 2000 was the very first movie. The last Final Destination was
Final Destination 5.
Final Destination 5
was 2011, which is crazy.
So think about it. So 14 years since their last one. And I think Evan is spot. Really good call. You don't have to watch the other ones. You could go into this not knowing anything, and you're going to be like,
they purposely came out with this movie. My thought with that,
because the opening sequence, I think, then sets it up.
Yeah, because they don't. I guess maybe they don't want to look back at some of those bad movies. I think they wanted to skip them, and I think they did good. I think it was great.
So, to close us out, I want to remind everyone, don't forget to click, like, subscribe, follow, tell your friends.
Please do.
Thank you, Andrew, Marky, Drake, Wendy, Sean. I know I'm forgetting somebody, but we had lunch together. Oh, and Brandy.
Your dentist.
Our dentist at Waterside Dental. But I want to make sure that everyone understands, we did this because the previous Final Destinations had horrible reviews.
And this one was all the way to the top.
This is higher rated than Sinners right now.
Yeah.
So next episode, we're going to try and do something different. We're going to be doing Mission Impossible, I believe.
Yes, we are.
And
big movie.
We will not be in the same room. We're going to try and do something unique.
Do our own videos inserted side by side. I've done it before.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Yep. So we're going to make it different. We hope that we hear from you. We got a lot of feedback on Thunderbolts. Even my brother-in-law, Tony, was like, I think it's the best thing since Endgame. I said, hey, I disagree, but that's okay.
That's what
and I know you drink a lot, so it's okay. Sorry, Tony. Just kidding. But
It's already.
This whole
25
podcast.
episodes, we're getting canceled.
This whole podcast is all for you folks. So give us
Yes.
feedback, whether you agree, disagree. If you got suggestions, give them to us. We'll talk at you all soon.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.